in the outer world. And that's going to happen unless Allah does it. You see what I mean? So remember, what we have more than anything that makes a success is faith. Okay, now, just like we were a symbol of that type of success in Oakland, and remember, they scheduled us to be the laughing stock of Oakland. They would arrest me, take off my big hat and jump up and down on it. They had a tear gas, they could have sprayed mace and all that. They had a field day with the brother. All these knots on my head, these are white folk, these are the police knots. You saw the arrest record, something got to go on, and that's only a portion of it. It don't say what really went on, it just parts of it. That's why the Oakland story is the beginning. We're going back to Oakland. We're going to structure, we're going to organize things as we go along. And since we're doing this on faith, there is no possibility of not being successful. It's just like what they did in Oakland the last 4 or 5 years. They didn't have a chance. They had no chance at all. Nor did our behavior give any hint that they had a chance. I want everybody to reflect on all the stuff that was going on and what all institutions were saying. Our Iranian friends backed away. No support. And most of this heat comes from being friendly to them, right? Remember when we had the dinner here, all Shia, Pakistani, Indo-Pakistani, and mixtures of brothers? Where are they at now? They just had a conference the other day or something. We upstarted. Not even a letter or a call. Hey, no, that's not bad. You gotta remember, when you get grown, that means when you get the game, people cannot, this anticipation, that's what's keeping you in human terms. You had so much interaction with the human being, you anticipate that when the heat comes on, just like in 68, 69, we was going to the Black Panther meetings at the Infirmary Park, you always saw me. And I told everybody when the heat is on, all the people talking about black power, power to the people, free the land, right on. I said, they ain't gonna be there, because that's the rule. That's the rule. The only time we see it different is with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Everybody else, look at the history. When the heat was on, hey man, they either argue, a hassle, or paranoid. Hey man, you think this is gonna really work? You know what I mean, right? In our case, in Oakland, we taught the people that you can be independent, that you can challenge the system, and you can survive. And if you think hard enough, you can find a way to get through it. The only thing was they learned those rules, but no social consciousness. That must have been the social conscious period was gone. It was gone for a time. In the Islamic movement, we first opened our Masjid in 1980 there. I think I showed y'all a piece of paper from the parole board. It said that you went and started a Muslim mosque. We want you to have a job and stuff like that. And that the reason you're here is because you had tried to force your wife to get a loan on the house for your center. They can write anything they want. Of course it's not true. Absolutely not true at all. It's exactly the opposite. I did physically make it. I was still in those normal human days in those days. Bop, bop, you're gonna get a loan on, that's all you got. Not that I gave it to them. When you got 2 kids and everything else. And, so when the police, it's all on record, they finished. And my sons was there, over there. It was about 14 or 15. 14. And so they in the street, the police been hassling because their last name was Green. So they got the game, huh? You know what they're hearing? What the parole officer is telling their mother. Oh, what happened? This is what happened. They said, that ain't gonna work. That ain't that. You gotta add on, you gotta juice it up. And the kids are sitting right there listening. First thing they tell me is, Dad, I said, it's okay. No problem. I needed to be back in jail for another 14 months. That's all it was. Because Allah needed me there to, Allah didn't need, I needed to be there for something Allah got ready to jump off. But to rephrase it, what I'm trying to tell you is faith is the criteria, not success. And if it's faith, look at our track record in Oakland, socially conscious Black liberation movement. With drugs as the starter, the igniter, turns Oakland into an enterprise zone. That has never happened. They didn't do it in Chicago. They didn't do it nowhere. Okay. People go by model or example also. That's what a paradigm is, remember. A model or example. That first big paradigm shift was almost 50 years ago, 45 years ago. When we shifted from the model of the white man got you on the chessboard. When that happens, everybody gives up, quit, self-destruct, or they start robbing banks that with their picture on the bank or something. Just, self-destructive. The Negro. Pictures on every police car, everything. I got one more job. Remember the movies? All the cases, isn't that right? The last job. I never did that. I said, that was the last job. The brother, goodbye everybody. No last job for me. Why? I ain't never seen the last job work out. Forget whether it's a movie or what I saw the niggas do. Man, I gotta get my money right. I wanna do one more and I'm gonna call it a day. And I always visit them in San Quentin. With so much time, it's like the police knew it was the last big job. Why? Because probably his partner, his uncle, or his brother, his cousin, the one that told the police this is Big Johnny's last job. Good, we'll make sure we get it and lock, throw away the keys on this one. Okay, so there's a model, there's an example. And before that it is possible to challenge it. Just the possibility is a huge success. Just for people to think that they can is a big deal. And then, after the model, after the example, it's then, but now it's different. Now it's clear, it's on CDs, DVDs, it's writings to teach the people. Anybody ever read Selected Works, Chairman Mao, and that stuff? Still, The Long March, 1934 and 35. He called it a Masjid machine. This is the greatest tragedy for them. Some say it's different accounts. Some say they started off with 100-some thousand men and wound up after a year-long strategic retreat. Think about it. The retreat was from D.C. to San Francisco and back. 6,000 miles. It took a year. One encirclement and suppression. Chiang Kai-shek got airplanes and everything. Encirclement and suppression. And they broke out every encirclement and suppression campaign. We've done the same thing. Here, in front of everybody that's here now, we have had several encirclement and suppression campaigns. People just regular foolishness. But to them, it's not foolishness. They're trying to slow you down. They're trying to divert you. They're not trying to kill you every time. Sometimes they just want to divert them. We want to slow them down. Give them a call. Have them come by with tell them you got a free package of sodas, anything. A diversion. The dumbest thing, if we can divert them every day for half an hour, it's like tripping somebody when they're running a 100-yard dash. All you got to trip, just one will knock off that momentum. They got all kind of little tactics. Now, here's the thing about it. We did it then, and we're doing it now. We've already taught people what you can do with and against the system. You know why? People haven't forgotten. It was 18, 20 years ago, all those big programs, the Men in Black, right? Remember? All of those wonderful programs and everything, and nice stuff we're doing, and all of a sudden they stop. And they stop and we keep going, and they cut us off, and they have no invitations about nothing. They'll ask Siraj to go give a talk on drug busters, and he wouldn't know if you put him in front of his face what it was. Right? His solution was march with the police and the Correctional Officers Association down the street in front of the Negroes to show you against drugs. Well, one thing about it, when you walk down the street with the police and he got his badge on, you don't have to worry about nobody in the neighborhood paying no attention to you, right? Tell the truth. I don't care if you're pro-abortion, anti-abortion, or you come from a heavenly cause. If you're marching down our street with the police, you ain't going nowhere.
Credibility becomes zero.
And then tell them lies about the main drug dealer in our neighborhood went to Hajj with me last year. That's a damn lie. I checked in New York, ain't no nigga up there that was dealing dope went to no Hajj. The niggas just lie categorically. But now, remember, I don't want to be here too long. We had to teach the people then, and then it was semi-coordinated. Now, we're doing everything premeditatedly, purposely, to show cracks in the system. And everybody, everything they do will backfire. They try to say, they put crackpots on there and they say, their website, they put it right on there where, you know, people can see it, you know, about stuff about us. Here's what we recommend. Every time those clownish people put up a website, we ask you to watch it. Please watch all of them and take notes of everything they say. Just take notes. I'm going to say this for the next 3 or 4 times. Any crackpot on there that says Imam Musa is the fake Imam, Imam Musa there's so much stuff. Set up all the brothers, got all the brothers killed. I have some pictures with the head of the PLA, all that recently, and the other brothers in exile. When you look at them, you would think they like me. They're hugging me and telling me, we love you. And other things, some of the ones from overseas, they're saying, we're proud of you. Because see, in those days I was in transition. And a little mixture of the criminal world moving into the political and social. Although we was ahead of them, we still, one of my partners told me in Tanzania when he realized it, he said, you're an idealist. I said, I'm a realist. He said, no, but you got ideals. Because everybody thought of me, and the one, he said, go on the website and see. So, teach the people then, but now teach the people. So what's the lesson here in Muslim? They got all these websites and they say, don't nobody know who Imam Musa, don't nobody get. And then I look, let's look on the original ones. Hannity and all of that. It's about 5 places you can see that. One, it says 13K, whatever that means, 29K, you know, 10K. And that's not all the same one, that's the same message. But so, there's probably 100,000 people that have seen those things. And they keep going up, so they're watching them now. Right? And we call in the Adhan, or the guys call the Adhan, we giving the khutbah, remember, and the white Congress is in the background.
Oh,
yeah.
the capital.
The capital,
Yeah.
all that.
The nation.
Right, but see, the people don't know, because the way we carrying it is that the nation is having their people there, and they doing all the footwork. But when the people review that, what are they going to think? An African is calling the Adhan, an African American is giving the khutbah. So if Louis the Lip gets up there, they got that history, but the world got the history. Just like it's 500,000 people there, and we tell the people to shout, follow what we said, they're giving takbirs. What do you think the Muslims are going to remember? There's 500,000 white folks there. Maybe a couple thousand Negroes too. But they're going to remember Allahu Akbar. They're going to remember a 2 or 3 minute speech. That's all they're going to remember. They don't remember all the other people. Well then, why don't they, if that's reality, why don't, whether it's the Dar al-Hijra, whether it's this, that, why don't they invite us nowhere to talk to anybody? And we sit right there and forecast exactly what's going to happen. And they say all revolutionaries around the world are our friends or evolutionaries. Why is that? It's because success is not measured in people. Success is not measured. Success is measured in how you adhere to the faith and the letter of what you're about. That's what success is. So the question is, who's successful and who's unsuccessful? The next thing, we have to show the way. That's what I like about Sayyid Qutb in Surah Tawbah, Ayat 100 about As-Sabiqun. It says, those who show the way, those who lead the way. And that's our mission. The dictionary meaning of As-Sabiqun. It was the mission in Jahiliyyah. People would have said that success was to get super rich, to stay there in Oakland, Let's examine that. That heyday was coming to an end. Right? That heyday of big niggas and all of that. Violence. When I leave, violence is starting to come in. When I'm in South America, violence is beginning to get in the movement. I mean, it's not the old days where, how can I be in South America dealing with, let's say, thousands and hundreds, and not get killed, and everybody there is a Colombian. And I'm a nigga all by myself half the time. Now, if nobody else believes in God, I do. Because nothing could hold them Colombians' hand back from killing you but God's hand. I don't care what nobody say. I might be a fool in some cases, but I ain't that big a damn fool, because I see what happened to everybody else. The numbers verify what I just said. The number of white boys that come up missing going down to Colombia just to buy a pound. Just imagine, nothing's going to happen to nobody. The white boy just don't report back to his hotel. That's all. What they going to do? The Colombian police is going to help you solve a murder? People don't know about corruption. It's not even called corruption. It's a way of life. It's like, if I get a guy $5,000 and you're going to pay him $2,000, he going to help me automatically. And if I pay him a little bit more, he may put a bomb in your car or anything. This is Colombia. I studied Colombia in the mid-70s. I quit right around that time. It would not be possible, I don't believe historically, for me to survive in Oakland, the big nigga in town, and whatever happened to all the other big niggas, the ones that wasn't killed, rot in the penitentiary, have rotted, they're rotted in the penitentiary. Since the 70s, I have friends that's done, and that's only 45 years ago. I have friends who've done, I would say the average of 20 years, 25, 30 years. They only could get out of prison long enough to get another case and come back. They don't even get off parole. So whatever the scenario that Allah wrote it for me to get my behind out of town, get around the world, and Allah is saying, we're going to give you a chance to evolve into something beneficial to humanity. And that's what happened. Evolution. And there's all kind of evolution. We know about biological evolution, right? Societal evolution, constitutional evolution, the Constitution of Magna Carta.